Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. I'm Patrice and today we are going to be sublimating these sashes that are 72 inches long and pressing it with our 15 by 15 HTV Ront auto heat press for the International Festival at my school. All right, y'all, so we're about to dive right into getting this done. We are going to be doing an all over print on the 72-inch long sashes. So we are going to hop into Adobe Illustrator and print out our design, and you'll see how we're going to tile it. If it is your first time here, thank you for being here. Please be sure to hit the thumbs up button and also make sure to hit the subscribe button if you like the content on this channel, and also head over to Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok and join us there as well. So let's get started with subbing these as quickly as we can. For this project today, we are going to definitely need the sashes so that we can sub onto these. However, we will be using sublimation ink along with sublimation paper and a sublimation printer. Or you can use either a dedicated sublimation printer that is actually meant for sublimation or a converted sublimation printer. So we want to go ahead and get this open. And we are now going to measure so that we can know exactly how long to make this sash. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and measure it. I am going to place the image on both sides, and it's simply just going to say Mr. International Festival or Miss International Festival. So I want to kind of start it here. I'll give it a little bit of room so that it can clear the shoulder. And here we will start it right here. So I'll just use those measurements here and we will make it about, maybe we'll make it about 20 inches. So let's get ready to design our image, and it needs to be, we're gonna stick with about 3 inches. So a 3 by 20. Now we're inside of Adobe Illustrator and we are going to get ready to print our image. And these are the two sashes that we will be printing. As you see, the artboard is odd shaped, and the actual size of the artboard that we're going to be using today is a 80-inch wide by 13-inch artboard. And I made it 13 inches high because I will be printing on the 13 by 19 sheet. And so all we need to do now is print. I'm just going to show you all how to print this. So we're going to go down to print. Once you open print, you want to make sure that you select page setup and just make sure that you're going to be printing from the correct printer and you have the correct paper size selected. So today we're going to be printing on the EPSON EcoTank 15,000, and like I said before, we'll be printing using 13 by 19 sheets. Now, in order for us to tile this correctly so that it prints out the way that it should so that we could piece it together, I am just going to head down to options and we are going to select scaling, and we want to switch this from do not scale to tile full pages. So once we selected tile full pages, I actually like how it looks as we see all of these different boxes. Those are the amount of pages that this is saying that this particular print is going to need. However, as you see, we only really need 1, 2, 3, 4 pages. So only 4 pages will print the image. The other pages will come out as blank pages. And if you want, you can move your image around based on how you want it to be tiled and cut out for each page. So right here, this looks pretty good to me. I like it like this. And also for overlap, you want to make sure that you have an overlap so that you can piece it together. I usually do a 1/4 inch of an overlap to make sure that the entire full image print, because if you don't do an overlap, part of that image will be cut off. Okay, so that's all set up, and I'm also going to be printing this in the landscape orientation. So next we're going to select setup, And for setup, this is just going to allow us to adjust our print settings. And I'm going to expand the menu for layout, and we are going to select print settings. Once in print settings, these are the settings that I'm going to be using. The media type, I'm going to leave this at plain paper bright white. We're going to keep the print quality at quality, and always make sure to mirror your image. Next, we're going to select color options. And in color options, we're going to change the mode from EPSON Vivid to Adobe RGB. And we are going to print this using a 2.2 gamma. All right, so now we're going to get ready to print this. And once we print this, we are going to piece it together. All right, y'all, so our printer is printing out the image that we're going to be placing on the sash. And it's looking pretty good. All right, y'all, so now we're at the fun part. All 4 of our sheets printed, and this is going to be the entire sash, okay? And so I did make the border a little bit thicker just to make sure that it's covered once we actually get ready to apply it. So it's just going to be a little bit over, which that's what I wanted. So we are just now going to have to piece this together. And so I will show y'all how we are about to piece this together right now. So I am going to just cut one edge. So I just want to cut this edge off. And when we do that, then I'll be able to kind of place it together like a puzzle. And you want to make sure you get all of those white parts off. You don't want any of that white paper in any area that you're going to be piecing together. If not, if you don't remove it, you will be able to see a thin white line there. So you definitely want to make sure that you cut all of that edge off. So then we are then just going to piece this together just like this. And I like that I have this space in between, because then I'll be able to just use our heat tape and place it directly on the front. I don't, I'm going to put some on the back, but I could go ahead and place some directly on the front to help me with placement. And so here I do see where I want to kind of lift this up a bit. And it looks like this is perfect. And so here I'm just going to apply the heat tape right here. Push it down. And I'm looking at this here just to make sure it's lined up correctly, and it appears to be lined up correctly. And so I am just going to apply another piece of heat tape right here. And then we are going to put a little piece right there. And then we are going to keep adding the other pieces. Now, this part might be a little bit difficult in finding exactly where the end is, but pretty sure the end is here. So that should work out just fine. And so I am going to cut the end of this piece so that we can place it together or piece it together. And so now I'm taping down the sash and turned it over, and I just lined it up. So this part, of course, is definitely not going to be subbed, but I've left enough bleed, even though I probably put too much of a bleed, but it's okay as long as there's full coverage on the sash. And so now I'm just taping it down from the front. I should have reinforced the back with more tape, so I'll go and do that when I'm done. But what I mean by that is that I taped the front, but I'm going to go ahead and just run some tape across those back parts that we pieced together, just to give it a little more reinforcement to stay together and not shift. Okay, so you want to do that to avoid it shifting. So this, I apply this when I'm doing all over shirts or any all over projects like this. I do the same thing. And so now we are just going to keep taping this down on the front. I'm just making sure that it's smooth. Right, so I'm going to get the other one, and we're actually just going to go ahead and complete this and tape it all the way to the end, and we are going to apply the second stack on this side. So it's going to be the same situation. I'm just going to make sure that that edge is lined up right here to the edge. We're going to straighten it out so that it is even. And then I am going to apply the tape. All right, so now I'm getting to the end of the sheet, and we are just going to tape the rest of this down, and then we will head to the press. Once you get this far, especially with these types of designs, you just want to make sure that it's lining up and that it's not going off the edge. You want to make sure that it stays where it needs to be. So we're done taping this, and we're going to head to the heat. All right, guys, so now we're going to get ready to print this or press it. And today we are using our HTV Ront auto heat press, and this is just a Yucca board that I have just so that it'll help me keep everything straight. I would typically do one of these types of presses with my 16 by 24 Fancier Studio auto press, or not auto press, heat press, but we're going to try it out today with this 15 by 15 and see if we can get success. So what I'm going to do, I am actually going to simply just slide this under, but I am going to put some butcher paper on top. And my printer is in the way a little, but we're gonna make it work. And so that's why it's important to have everything taped down very, very good and snug. All right, so I'm just gonna take off the auto part, and then we are going to actually just slide this in. And I'm using A sublimation paper along with my ink, dynamic ink today to get this done. So don't want to slide it up too much. I don't want to miss the plate. We're going to keep it about right here. Looks like that's good. right? Just a little bit. For this, I would definitely stick with the larger heat press. So let's go ahead. We're going to slide in our tray underneath. Just gives it a little bit of pressure, and we are going to press that first part. Now it's time for the big reveal. So you always want to make sure that you put some butcher paper on top of that yucca board, and just to secure it better. And I didn't, I can tell, you know, I hope that didn't really affect my press today. But we are just going to go ahead and reveal our sash. And so far, I'm pretty pleased with how it looks. The only thing is that my color profile was so off for the border. I originally did a maroon border, but I did not put the correct CMYK code inside. And so I have like a dark purple black color. But for the most part, I'm pretty pleased with how it came out. They did not ask for a specific color. They really just wanted it to say Mr. and Miss International Festival down the center. However, I wanted to add a pop of color to it, and so that's what we did. But for the most part, it looks pretty good. Right, now we're going to see how the other one turned out as well. The best part about this is that I did this with my 15 by 15 auto heat press. I do have some markings from the yucca board, but it's okay. And so this is going to be the front and the back. So let's see how the other side turned out. If this side turned out just as well. And so far, it looks like it did. Let's see. That seam looks good. Happy about that seam. Over. That way you guys can kind of see it a little bit better. All right, and so here are both of the sashes. And I must say, I am very much so pleased. All right, y'all, so we are all done with subbing these sashes, and y'all, they came out beautifully. I'm very impressed with how they came out, and I like them. Now, the color profile for the border was not what I wanted it to be, but that is a user error, my fault when I was designing. But nonetheless, it's all good because they really wanted a plain sash anyway. So it looks a lot better than what they told me, and I'm very happy with how it came out. And hopefully they'll be able to use these for years to come. Now, to get this done, you want to make sure you have it taped down very, very securely so that it doesn't shift when you're doing those multiple presses. And the Yuka board really does help to stabilize everything. However, you could use other contraptions just to keep it straight so that when you're sliding it through your heat press, you don't have any issues. But other than that, everything turned out beautifully. I'm super excited about giving this to them tomorrow. And yeah, kind of similar to doing an all over shirt. So if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also make sure to hit the subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber. In addition, head over to Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok and join Craftable Things there as well. So that's going to be it for today, y'all. Thank you all so very much for watching. Until next time.